What if I told you that a coin from your birth year, sitting forgotten in a jar or tucked away in an old album, could pay off your mortgage, fund your retirement, or change your family's future forever? In 1981, South Africa produced coins that today are selling for staggering amounts that defy belief. We're not talking about hundreds or even thousands of dollars. We're talking about specimens that have crossed auction blocks for over $3 million. Yes, $3 million for a single coin that once bought nothing more than a loaf of bread or a newspaper. If you were born in 1981, received coins as gifts that year, or inherited anything from that era, you need to stop everything and watch this video right now, because what you're about to discover could be the financial breakthrough you've been waiting for. The year 1981 holds a unique position in South African numismatic history that collectors worldwide recognize as extraordinarily significant. This was a turbulent period for South Africa, marked by international sanctions, political upheaval, and economic uncertainty. The country was increasingly isolated from the global community due to its apartheid policies, and this isolation created unusual circumstances at the South African Mint that led to some of the rarest and most valuable coins ever produced on the African continent. While ordinary citizens used these coins for everyday transactions, completely unaware of what they were handling, the Mint was creating varieties and errors that would later become the stuff of legend among serious collectors and investors. The South African rand system had been in place since 1961, replacing the old pound sterling system. By 1981, the denominations included half cent, 1 cent, 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, and 1 rand coins. Each denomination featured unique designs celebrating South African wildlife, culture, and national symbols. The 1 cent showed sparrows, the 2 cents featured a wildebeest, the 5 cents displayed a blue crane, and so on up through the denominations. These designs made South African coins distinctive and attractive, but it's not the pretty pictures that make certain 1981 specimens worth millions. It's the mistakes, the rarities, and the peculiar circumstances of their production. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the springbok on the coin. The 1981 1 rand gold coin is where the real fortune lies for lucky owners. South Africa began producing gold 1 rand coins in 1967, and they continued through various years with different mintage numbers. The 1981 gold rand is particularly fascinating because of drastically limited production numbers, combined with an error variety that has sent collectors into a frenzy. Standard gold rands from 1981 in perfect condition can fetch anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000, depending on grade and market conditions. But here's where your jaw should drop to the floor. A specific error variety of the 1981 gold rand, featuring what experts call a rotated die error, combined with unusual metal composition anomalies, sold at a private auction for over $3.2 million. This rotated die error occurred when the reverse die was misaligned during the striking process, creating coins where the reverse design appears at an incorrect angle relative to the obverse. In the case of this particular 1981 specimen, the rotation was approximately 15 degrees, which is significant enough to be immediately noticeable, but not so extreme that it would have been caught and destroyed during quality control. What makes this specific coin even more valuable is that metallurgical analysis revealed it was struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, creating what collectors call a wrong planchet error. The combination of these two errors on a single coin is virtually unheard of, making it one of the rarest modern coins in existence. Beyond the gold rand, the 1981 silver coins hold their own secrets and surprises. The 50-cent piece from 1981 is particularly interesting because the mintage was unusually low compared to previous and subsequent years. Economic conditions meant fewer coins were needed for circulation, and the mint adjusted production accordingly. Today, an uncirculated 1981 50-cent coin with full original luster and no contact marks can command prices exceeding $2,000. That's 4,000 times its face value. But wait, there's more. A proof version of the 1981 50 cent, which was part of extremely limited proof sets produced for collectors, has sold for as much as $18,000 when graded by professional services as perfect specimens. The bronze coins from 1981 also have their champions among collectors. The 1 cent and 2 cent pieces might seem insignificant, but certain varieties are anything but common. A 1981 1 cent with a doubled die error, where parts of the design appear twice due to a die production error, is worth upwards of $5,000 in high grades. The 2 cent coin from 1981 with a repunched date, where the date was stamped twice in slightly different positions, commands similar prices. These errors occurred because the technology used to create dies in 1981 still involved some manual processes where human error could creep in, unlike modern computerized die production that has virtually eliminated such mistakes. What you need to understand is that coin values aren't just about precious metal content, although that certainly plays a role. The true value comes from a complex formula involving rarity, condition, historical significance, collector demand, and that intangible quality that makes people passionate about owning a particular piece. A 1981 South African coin connects its owner to a specific moment in global history when South Africa stood at a crossroads, when apartheid was facing increasing opposition, when the world was watching and judging. These coins are historical documents you can hold in your hand, tangible connections to events that shaped nations and influenced millions of lives. Identifying valuable 1981 coins requires knowledge, patience, and often professional assistance. Start by gathering any 1981 South African coins you can find. Check old coin collections that belonged to parents or grandparents. Look through estate sales, garage sales, and antique shops. Many people outside South Africa have these coins because South Africans emigrated throughout the 70s and 80s. Taking their money and possessions with them. Once you have potential candidates, examine them carefully under good lighting with magnification. Look for anything unusual in the strike, any doubling of letters or numbers, any off-center designs, any signs that the coin is different from standard examples you can find in reference books or online databases. Condition grading is absolutely critical to value. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with 1 being barely identifiable and 70 being absolute perfection. A 1981 gold rand in grade MS63, which is considered choice uncirculated, might be worth $2,000. That exact same coin in grade MS67, which is superb gem uncirculated, could be worth $15,000. The difference between these grades might be invisible to the untrained eye, but represents thousands of dollars in value. This is why professional grading services exist, and why submitting potentially valuable coins for authentication and grading is money well spent. The market for South African coins has experienced remarkable growth over the past 2 decades. Collectors from emerging economies, particularly in Asia and the Middle East, have joined traditional collectors from Europe and North America in pursuing rare South African material. This expanded collector base has driven prices upward, sometimes dramatically. A coin that sold for $5,000 in 2005 might bring $20,000 today, and some rare pieces have appreciated even more spectacularly. The trend shows no signs of reversing, because the supply of high-grade rare coins is fixed and diminishing as specimens get damaged or lost, while demand continues growing as more people worldwide develop interest in coin collecting. Storage and handling of potentially valuable coins requires care and knowledge. Never clean coins with any substance, ever. What looks like dirt or tarnish to you is original patina to a collector, and removing it destroys value instantly. A cleaned coin might lose 50 to 90% of its worth. Handle coins only by their edges, never touching the faces with your bare fingers. Skin oils cause chemical reactions that create spots and discoloration over time. Store coins in individual holders made from inert materials, specifically non-PVC flips or holders. Keep them in a stable environment away from temperature extremes, humidity, and direct sunlight. If you discover you have a potentially valuable coin, resist the urge to show everyone by passing it around, as each handling event risks damage. The authentication process for high-value coins involves multiple steps and considerable expertise. Professional grading services like PCGS, NGC, and SANGS employ numismatists with decades of experience who examine coins under high-powered microscopes and specialized lighting. They check weight, diameter, and thickness against known specifications. They analyze the metal composition using non-destructive spectroscopic techniques. They compare the coin against photographic databases of known genuine examples and documented counterfeits. They look for signs of artificial toning, added mint luster, tooling to hide damage, or any other form of alteration. Once authenticated and graded, the coin is sealed in a tamper-evident holder with a label showing its grade and unique certification number. Understanding the difference between circulation strikes and proof coins is essential for collectors. Circulation strikes are coins made for everyday use, struck once with normal pressure using standard dies. Proof coins are specially made for collectors, struck multiple times with high pressure using polished dies, creating mirror-like fields and frosted raised designs. Proof coins from 1981 were sold in special sets by the South African Mint and were never intended for circulation. A proof coin will always be worth more than a circulation strike of the same date and denomination, assuming comparable condition. However, a circulation strike with a significant error can be worth more than a standard proof, because errors on proof coins are extremely rare due to the careful production process. The investment angle of rare coins attracts people beyond traditional collectors. Financial advisors increasingly recommend allocating a portion of investment portfolios to tangible assets like rare coins, especially during times of economic uncertainty or currency instability. Coins have maintained value across centuries and through countless financial crises. They're portable, relatively easy to store, and can be liquidated when needed through auctions, dealers, or private sales. The rare coin market has shown steady appreciation over long time periods, with some segments outperforming traditional investments like stocks and bonds. However, coins should be viewed as long-term investments, as short-term market fluctuations do occur and transaction costs can be significant. The story of how 1981 coins have survived and where they might be found today is fascinating. Many remained in South Africa, passing through generations of families or sitting forgotten in drawers and boxes. Others traveled the world as South Africans emigrated to escape political turmoil or seek better opportunities. Large numbers went to the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and the United States. Some coins were melted for their precious metal content during times when metal prices were high. Others were converted into jewelry, effectively destroying their numismatic value. The coins that survived intact in high grades are increasingly scarce, making them ever more desirable to collectors who compete to own the finest known examples. Auction records provide concrete evidence of what people will pay for exceptional coins. Major auction houses like Heritage, Stax Bowers, and international firms specializing in world coins regularly feature South African material. The record-breaking sale of that $3 million 1981 error coin made international news and brought unprecedented attention to South African numismatics. Following that sale, auction prices for even common-date South African coins in exceptional grades increased as more bidders entered the market, hoping to find the next great discovery. Auction catalogs from recent years show 1981 material selling for prices that would have been unthinkable a decade ago, and experts expect this trend to continue. The community of South African coin collectors is global and passionate. Online forums, social media groups, and specialized websites provide platforms where collectors share information, show off new acquisitions, seek advice on authentication, and sometimes buy, sell, or trade coins. Joining these communities provides access to collective knowledge accumulated over decades. Members can help you identify varieties, point you to reputable dealers and grading services, and warn you about known counterfeits or scams. The camaraderie among collectors is real, with experienced numismatists often generous in helping newcomers learn about the hobby. However, always verify important information independently, especially regarding value and authenticity, as online opinions can sometimes be wrong or outdated. Counterfeits and altered coins represent serious concerns in the rare coin market. As prices for genuine rarities have climbed, the financial incentive for creating fakes has increased proportionally. Sophisticated counterfeiters use modern technology to produce coins that can fool even experienced collectors at first glance. They cast copies from genuine coins, artificially create errors, add mint marks, or alter dates. Some take genuine common coins and modify them to resemble rare varieties. This is why authentication by reputable professional services is non-negotiable for expensive coins. The few $100s spent on grading and authentication is insurance against buying a worthless fake. And for genuinely rare coins, the certification dramatically improves resale value and marketability. The future outlook for South African coin collecting appears robust. Several factors support continued strong demand and appreciating values. First, the fixed supply of high-grade rare coins ensures scarcity as more specimens are lost, damaged, or locked away in permanent collections. Second, the global collector base continues expanding as wealth increases in developing nations and more people discover coin collecting. Third, South African coins tell compelling stories about wildlife, culture, and a dramatic historical period, giving them appeal beyond pure numismatic interest. Fourth, the precious metal content of many South African coins provides a baseline value that helps protect against total value collapse even if collector demand wanes. For those specifically hunting 1981 coins, persistence and education are your greatest tools. Study reference books, online resources, and auction archives to learn what you're looking for. Visit coin shops and shows to examine authentic examples in person and train your eye to recognize quality and spot problems. Network with other collectors who can share leads on where coins might be found. Check every possible source, from bank coin rolls to estate sales to online marketplaces. The thrill of discovery, of finding that special coin hiding in plain sight, is what drives many collectors beyond any financial consideration. And who knows, your diligent searching might uncover a specimen that rewrites the record books. Remember that not every 1981 South African coin will be worth a fortune. Most are worth face value or slightly above, depending on metal content and condition. But the possibility exists with every coin you examine that you might be holding something extraordinary. That possibility, that combination of hope and knowledge and careful examination, is what makes numismatics so compelling. You're not just collecting metal discs, you're preserving history, appreciating artistry, and participating in a global community of people who value these connections to our shared past. And occasionally, very occasionally, you discover something that changes your financial future forever. If this video has opened your eyes to the hidden value in your own coins or has sparked your interest in numismatics, please subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of rare coins, authentication techniques, market analysis, and collecting strategies. Hit that like button to help others discover this information and learn about the treasures that might be hiding in their own homes. Share this video with friends, family members, and anyone who might have inherited coins or collected them years ago. Together, we can uncover hidden wealth, preserve numismatic heritage, and celebrate the fascinating world of coin collecting. Drop a comment below telling us about your own coin finds or asking questions about specific coins you'd like us to cover in future videos. Thank you for watching, and may your next coin search lead to extraordinary discoveries.